Let's talk to Nate in Canada. Nate, what's on your mind tonight?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. My name's Nate. I'm a recovering from religion volunteer. I work on the helpline, and I also help moderate their online community, specifically sexuality and LGBTQ issues. So first off, I just want to reiterate what Dr. Ray said. The damage that this sort of purity culture can cause literally every day. It is the most ubiquitous issue in our community, especially when it comes to LGBTQ plus individuals. Just an hour ago, before I called in, I was talking down somebody who's dealing with the emotional fallout of these negative attitudes. So that's kind of why I joined, is to make my contribution there. So what I wanted to talk about, I am a bisexual man. I was with a woman for 6 years. We had 3 children. I'm now married to a man. We've been together for 11 years. But my grandmother has never met my children because to her, they don't count because we were never married. So she never came to any birthday parties. She's never interested in being a part of that. And people ask me, what's the harm? Why can't you live and let live? Well, this is the harm, right? Like, they're missing out on a grandparent's love. It's damaging. And further to that, my partner that I had children with, we were both the first person that the other ever came out to. We're both from religious families. Both had pretty unhealthy attitudes when we first met, and again, like, this is the harm that comes from this sort of thing, is that you've got people in their 20s who are just now coming to terms with their sexuality. It's very harmful.
I think it's interesting, Nate, and thank you for all you're doing. And Nate is a massive contributor for Recover from Religion. He's really helping a lot of people. But let me just say that you make the observation that purity culture affects the relationships between a grandparent and a grandchild. That is purity culture. I don't think a lot of people realize that. It's not whether a girl has a ring and a ball with her father, which is weird enough, but to blow away valuable relationships. That's what purity culture does. And it's not limited to just 2 people. I think that's what Nate's saying, and I really appreciate that. I think that's exactly right, Nate.
Exactly. And I had to explain that to my children as well, right? Why isn't Grandma here? Well, why don't we ever see Grandma Joe's mom? They had a great relationship with their paternal grandmother, but again, it inevitably comes up, well, where's the other one? And then you have to tell them that, and then they have to deal with that emotional fallout.
Yep. Difficult for kids, and they can't understand it. There's no way. But hopefully you're bringing your kids up and helping them understand their own sexuality. And I'm guessing they're going to be well educated by the time, well, they probably already are. I don't know how old your kids are, but how did you find yourself educating your
quite well?
Okay.
Oh, good. Yeah. Sometimes I think they like my husband a little more than they like me.
I think that just proves you're doing something right.
At least you found the right partner.
but even so, I mean, Nate, I'm really glad that you found a wonderful partner that you've been able to connect with, and that you found recovering from religion and are contributing there. And I, as Darrel said, like, I'm confident that you're giving your kids the best possible information. But I've got a 12-year-old on the other side of that wall who would be very embarrassed if he knew I was talking about him. But who I know also, like, as much as we teach him the right things and bring the right ideas, Grandma is still there every summer, kind of whispering a lot of opposites. And, we want to be open to that, not just sever that relationship, but that messaging still gets in a lot of ways, and it can be really tricky to look your kid in the eye and say, like, well, we believe this and this is why, and it's for very good reasons, but other people believe something else, and to watch them wrestle with that. I know that that's life in a lot of ways, but when it creates division between kids and a parent, it can be really devastating. I'm hoping that y'all have found some luck and some peace in navigating those issues.
I think we've done pretty well. As I said, both of our families are pretty religious, and we've had to draw some boundaries, but I do let my mother and her mother, they take my children to church. And I've always been of a mind that if you teach a child how to think instead of telling them what to think, at the end of the day, you're going to end up with some secular children, and that has been the case.
Good.
For
Good
me,
for you. Good for you. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that kind of insight with us. I think that is the key to all of these things. Darrel, your book, The God Virus, illustrated that for me probably better than anything else ever had. I had gotten to this place where I had recognized Christianity for the lie that it was, but it's not until you put it on the same shelf as Buddhism and Islam and Hinduism and these other things that you start to realize, like, oh, there's a whole system here.
Yeah. Right. Nate, thanks for calling, and thanks for all you do for Recover from Religion.
Well, thank you for taking my call. And again, tune in February 4th, your friendly neighborhood atheist fundraiser. It's going to be a banger, folks.
Great.
Hey, thank you so much. You have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.